invite me to the webinar today. It is a pleasure for me. I cannot see your faces. It's a little strange, but I hope this webinar will be interesting for you. And the questions at the end, if you want it. Traceability of drugs, implementation in a hospital pharmacy in Argentina. The issues, the problems in our hospital before the traceability begins are increased pressure to improve patient safety, risk of medication errors at the point of care with the manual processes for ordering. You know, the manual processes makes it difficult to identify patients in a recall, for example. The other problem were the lack of a unit dose barcoding of each medication. And then begins in the year 2012 the new regulation from the Health Ministry here in Argentina. This was a problem because we must implement it. It was a regulation of the Health Ministry, and this has penalties if we don't accomplish it. The solution in our hospital was implementation of medication traceability system with electronic patient record system, installation of an automatic repackager station with barcoding of unit dose, barcode verification at point of use to ensure the 5 patient rights. You know, this is well known. Right patient, the patient identity must be verified. Drug, we must verify that the right medication is used in the electronic patient record. Right route, such as intramuscularly or intravenously or oral. Right time and right dose. The right dose should be confirmed against the prescription. You know, it is critical that, for example, heparin ordered for a doctor for a baby does not arrive. It cannot arrive to the baby in an adult dosage. Now, what is the traceability of drugs? Traceability is an early warning system for counterfeit drugs. It is a tool that allows us to know the history of the drug along all its steps. Verification of its origin, register of records all along its distribution chain. Every part of the healthcare chain can benefit from this item-level serialization. In our hospital, we begin the traceability with the acquisition of drugs from the audited laboratories that audit make we pharmacists before the pharmacy industry is a provider from us. Then the reception of the traceability drugs with record of lot and expiration date, GTIN and serial number. And the last step is the dispensation and administration of right drug in daily dose. Well, why and how we use it in our hospital? You know, drug safety is a problem that varies in severity around the world. We have just a communication from a counterfeit Avastin reached Europe in February 2040, and we have this counterfeit Avastin in our hospital too a few years ago. The true extent of the counterfeiting is unknown. In developing countries, the WHO estimates that counterfeit drugs may exceed 30%. The huge growth in uncontrolled sales of drugs over Internet contribute to this problem. This phenomenon is called cyberpharmacies. The governments are drafting legislation to make it harder to the counterfeiters. Drug safety. We know it, we all want good drugs in the hospitals for our patients and for us if we are a patient here. Counterfeit handbags and watches are a problem, but counterfeit drugs are a very serious problem. The counterfeit medicine is fake medicine, has a negative effect on global scale, a solution with tangible benefits for patient safety is urgently needed, and we think that it is a must, the efficient supply chain. The FDA has recommended in 2006 that pharmaceutical laboratories start using RFID. You know, if RFID is, here you see it on the photo, is a very little tag like the grain of rice, and it can contain a lot of data. It can be read without needing to pass a scanner directly over the tags. This is very important. What news come from Europe? I saw the directive from 2011. It is a fight against counterfeit, this directive. The directives introduce a serialization control system and the inviolability of the packaging of all the prescribable drugs until the year 2016. From Canada, the ISMP, the Institute for Safe Medication Practices, published an interesting guide about medication barcode system in September of 2030. If you want it, I can send you the homepage from this interesting guide. It is only a guide and not a legal regulation. It has no legal penalties. Well, the national background here in Argentina was in April 2011, the creation of the national system of traceability of drugs in order to ensure the control of these products and limit the use of illegal drugs. And it was instrumented by the ANMAT, our FDA in Argentina, the National Administration of Drugs, Food and Medical Devices. The first stage of this new system in Argentina in 2011 include only medicines from with high cost and low incidence in the hospitals, 200 types of different medicines. But the surprise was in a few months later, in March, with the same timetable in June 2012, and ANMAT added to the system of traceability 2,300 more medicines. You know, we was in a race against time to implement traceability ahead of the deadline. And finally, we have the last stage of this system in 2030, and now we have a complete list with around 3,000 medicines. How to implement this system in the Hospital Alemán? It was a very big teamwork, a huge work. I'm sorry that you are so much kilometers from Argentina, but it's interesting to see it personally. I invite you if you want to travel to Buenos Aires. The traceability system involves 4 specific steps in our hospital. The hospital reception, the single dose fractioning here in the pharmacy, it's a big work, and the dispensing to the nurses and the administration to the patient. The use of the barcodes helps to validate all medication against the supply chain points. It's a big teamwork. We all in general hate changes, but it's necessary, I think, for a better world and to go on with new things. And in this case, we want to guarantee the safety for the patients. We implement the 4 E's: engage, educate all levels of staff, execute standardizing processes, and evaluate. Now we are excited about the progress we made in this teamwork. It's very comfortable. The quality program, standardizing processes, we write a traceability manual with all the choices. all multitask personnel is trained, and it is focused towards a continued improvement. The first in every new process is that you educate your team. They need clear communication and not that they said, oh my God, what happens now? I don't know what to do. It's necessary that all are involved. Reception and administration of traceable medicines in hospital directly linked to ANMAT or our FDA website. The history of the drugs goes from its reception to the moment it is used by the patient. This, we called it traceability inside the hospital. And all the system is based on GS1 standards. You know the GTIN, the Global Trade Item Number. Each individual package of the secondary package has a unique, unrepeated random code. In this number, you see the 01 before the GTIN and the 21 before the serial number. The GTIN is a static information. Every time it's the same for the same medication, but the serial number is a random number, and it's unique for each packaging. It is placed by the laboratory or the drugstore. It will allow the patients to verify the authenticity of the product, but we have also a human readable text near the data matrix of the RF.
Heidi, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there seems to be a slight connection issue. Can you please check, because we cannot hear you anymore? Thank you. Sorry about that. We're trying to reconnect with Mrs. Wimmers. Please be patient. Thank you.
Hello?
Heidi, yes? We can hear you again, Heidi.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
Heidi, I can hear you again. Heidi?
Hello?
Yes?
Me habló que no se me escucha. Sí, 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 sí. ¿Qué hacer, Nico? De escribir.
My apologies again to everyone. There seems to be a slight technical difficulty. We are trying to resolve it as quick as possible.
Not here. Okay.
Heidi, are you back?
If you no sé si seguir. ¿Qué hago? Ay, por favor, te juro que... Okay, I go on. I'm sorry. I don't hear you, but I hope you can hear me okay. Well, okay. Well, okay. I go on. I'm sorry. Okay, the unique identification is, you see this 3 data carriers, and the barcodes were, you know it, were invented over 30 years ago, and we are happy that we have barcodes. And the data matrix allows registration of massive amounts of data within a minimal dimension. The linear barcode occupies more space on the packaging. Okay, I hope you hear me. The data capture is with the scanner. The utilization of the data matrix by now is a predominant tendency here in Argentina. I think it's why, because it's a little bit not so okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous because I don't know if you hear me. Well, I go on. The GTIN serial number is read at the reception with the lot number and the expiry date associated with the GLN code. The GLN is the identification of our hospital, of the institutional provider. We must buy a lot of scanners and the new software, but it is a one-time investment only. We bought about 300 scanners for our hospital, but now we are happy that we have them. Once the drug is received, ANMAT is informed, and and an ID is obtained. And the traceability of the drug is verified at the ANMAT website from the GLN of origin to the GLN of destiny. In our case, our hospital as informant agent. You see here the page of the ANMAT, and this database is updated twice a day, and you see in this case the GLN of origin was the Pharmacy Lab Sandoz, and you see above the GLN of destiny, the Hospital Alemán. This is what you can see with the ID after the transmission of the dates from the scanner. The reception of traceable drugs in the hospital. Here I want that you see how we are at the beginning in June in 2012 and how we are now with the percentile of reception of traceability drugs. You know, the hospital is an end-user organization in the medication chain. Well, here you see that at the beginning, at June from the 2012, only near 4% of drugs comes to the hospital with his identification with the data carrier. Over 95% comes without it. And now, in this year, the 2014, we have a better case because it's half of the medication, the 51% comes correctly, and we know it. The drug producers must adapt this process at the packaging stage of the production line. They must work to determine the best placement of the barcodes. Speed and quality is very important. We think that's a huge investment in new production units. This applies to all products in the list of ANMAT, not only the locally produced drugs, also the imported drugs. Without product serialization, traceability would not be possible. I think that the timeline for full compliance with the Argentine regulations is near 5 years. I hope you can hear me. Well, we go on with a single-dose fractionant at the pharmacy in the inpatient ward. This is the big work in the pharmacy. The unit dose repackaging is done through an aseptic process in our lab. The tabletop repackager is an easy-to-use option for the in-house repackaging. So, each level of packaging could be identified, primary and secondary packaging. Here you see our packaging in the pharmacy. The single-unit packages for pills, tablets, or capsules identify their contents accurately. Protect their contents from environmental effects. Allow quick, easy, and safe use. I hope that you hear me. I go on. Okay, well, for these single unit packages, I will show now if there is any message from you from the other side. Okay, I go on.
Hi, did you hear me? We hear you fine.
We can only print these labels in the pharmacy for the number of units indicated in the original package. For example, in this Risperdal packaging, we have 60 tablets and we can only print 60 labels with the same data matrix code. The barcode on primary packaging identifies single unit packaging. Print quality is a critical factor and it's very complicated with the ink. At the beginning we have very much problems, but now it's everything okay. And we hope in future the pharmacy companies can help us and make this print on each unit in the industry and not in the hospital pharmacy. We also labeled each vial or ampoule with the data matrix code printer. This was not so easy because we must design the label on the very smallest ampoules. At the beginning, the curvature of the little ampoules it was not possible to read it good, but now we have a solution for this problem. But everything was a big work for us. We have a program of preventive maintenance and to control machine, printer, labels, and the unit dose repackaging is a work of the technician in the pharmacy, but it is under the surveillance of a pharmacist. Well, now we are at the administration step. This does the nurses in the station. It was very important, the role of the nurses. The nurses read the barcode of the medicine dispensed by the pharmacy. Then they go to the electronic patient record system and they confirm the usage of the drug. As I told you, we have only 3,000 drugs in the traceable system, and so the nurse must see in the electronic patient record which medication is traceable. It's important because it, in this case, with these drugs, prevents one patient from being confused with another. And this electronic patient record system obviously replaces handwritten prescriptions to reduce transcription errors. Here you see the nurse must not scan all the medications. She only scans the medication with the fluor color. The others are not in the list of ANMAT until now. Yeah, this is our print in the nurse's station, and each patient has his medication with a fluor when she must read this with the scanner. We also have a pharmacy for outpatients here in the hospital, and this scanning eliminates confusions caused by similar sounding names like the LASA errors and unit conversions, reducing dispensing errors. And if a recalled medication, it's very easy to find the patient with the traceability. And the patient, when he has his medicine, he receives with the medicine a bill, and on the bill is the GTIN and serial, and he can validate on the ANMAT web page the legitimacy of the medicine. This is what comes now. I hope you see it. He can go to a web page from ANMAT and introduce the GTIN serial, and then he saw all the way before he buy this medicine, all the way of his packaging. Well, the conclusion of our implementation is that the medical sector is an extremely complex environment, and all employees at hospitals are only human. You know, the report to err is human from 1999. That means that errors are made in all hospitals around the world. We can be tired from working long hours, which may lead to wrong medicine dosage or giving the medicine to the wrong patient. It's complex here in the hospital, and I think that people, drugs and devices need to be traced permanently. The traceability system with the standards will increase patient safety, no doubt of this, focused on ensure genuine products, preventing counterfeit, fraud and smuggling. We all think that it's a huge benefit to patient safety. It improves patient care, reducing medical errors, and gives quality to the healthcare supply chain. I think that what I say before, the efficient recall is possible all the days. To continue improving the traceability process in the hospital, it is essential to train the personnel constantly, to motivate them, keeping great compromise between all members of the team. It is critical that we all agree to that concept and to the regulations here in our country. And we think that together we are stronger. In our hospital, this decision about the traceability process are first taken with patient safety in mind. We are in the process of accreditation of Joint Commission, and this is a very important motive to continue with these processes. It's a daily challenge, it's no doubt, but don't ever give up. We must understand that the problem is serious worldwide, and traceability is a very good tool. Thank you for your attention. I hope you have heard me. I don't know it because I hear nothing from the other side. Please, if it's possible, send me a message so I can see if you understand what I said and if you have questions. Okay. I'm waiting here on the other side. No sé qué hacer. No sé qué hacemos. ¿Volvemos a entrar o algo? No sé. Ay, no, es un horror. No puedo escucharlos. Les doy el directo de... ¿Pensás que todavía nos ven? Heidi, I can hear you. Maybe fix your headset? No, my headset is okay. I don't hear. I have a green light on my headset and it's everything okay. No. It's everything okay. When I speak, I saw the green lights on my microphone. I'm sorry. Si cambiamos el headset, no es lo mismo, no con el otro. No. Puse para enviar. Hola, pero no sé, yo no sé. Yes, I can answer orally. I don't hear you, but the multitask personnel are the nurses, the doctors, the pharmacists, and all the administration personnel from the PC area and systems who helps us with the implementation. We are all together. To relabel, you must know that we have the unit dose in our hospital from the years 2000, and we have an organized area in the lab and we only need 1% more to print the labels. In the area of the lab of pharmacy, we have 3 persons with the unit dose. They was there before the traceability system, and we have 1 more person to print. The problem on the small ampoules was that at the beginning the label of the data matrix was too big and the scanner can't read it. And now we have a very little data matrix, and the problem is solved. It's not now more. We must try with we prove a lot of different labels, and we have now the correct label. It's a big work, you know, but we are happy that we have this possibility to do it for the safety for the patients. How do you do inventory after serial number implementation? How about your dispensing process? We have a semi-automatic big armario. The dispensing from the medication is in a semi-automatic equipment, and the inventory is not so easy now because a lot of other medication have no traceability. In this time we don't have a quickly response to the inventory because there's a lot of medicine without a data matrix. And so it's in this moment, and only you see in some slide that we have only a 50% of accomplishment from the pharmacy industry with the traceability implementation. I think next year it will be better. Yes, you know, this question of does the pharmacy check the medicine if not counterfeit in the outpatient pharmacy before giving it to the patient? Yes, the traceability medication, it's easy to check because when the technician takes a medicine is not okay with the medicine with the patient must have, and then he cannot read it. And it was at the beginning very important because we saw that we have errors, and with the scanner we have not this confusion because the LASA errors, the look-alike and sound-alike errors are common in hospitals, and with the scan you can have a better process. Was this initiative from the hospital or the government? It was from our two the hospital, because we are as I told you, in the accreditation from the Joint Commission, and it was indispensable to have this internal traceability in the hospital. And the government it's important because it was regulation from the health ministry, and so we have penalties if we don't comply it. The next question is, what IT systems do you use to manage medication, pharmacy and dispensing to the wards in the hospital? We have IT, I think I understand you well, is a program for the traceability, I think. I don't hear you, but we have here a few companies with good programs with directly have the connection between the hospital and the ANMAT, and we buy this program and make the interface with the hospital. If you want something to know, I am answering, but you have here my email address, and it's okay if you want to ask me some questions later in this address. The next question is, you have serial number on unit dose. How do you benefit from that? How do you use that to increase the patient safety? The serial number is the not static information, the dynamic information, and is related to each packaging. And so the serial number, you can make the way back from the hospital to the pharmaceutical producer. This is, you can know if you have counterfeit medication or the medication comes from the original pharmacy producer. I think that this increases the safety. The next question is, how long did it take to get the acceptance of everybody for these new processes to bring them to the standard which it is now? Yes, you know, this all the changes we make in the last years with the, I refer again to the Joint Commission. This was a big change, the manual of the Joint Commission, and this traceability is only a little step more. We are all sensibilized about patient safety, and this was a process that we must do, and we from the pharmacy we goes every day to all the nurses stations, and we ask them, have you some problem, or can't you read the data matrix, etc. And they know, the sisters know, that we are with the best predisposition to help in all the chain in the hospital. And it's sometimes it's so that they ask us other questions with us nothing to do with the traceability, but we have a so good connection that we works in a team. It's so. How can the patient verify its medicine? Does he have to report the GTIN code on a dedicated section of the ANMAT website? Yes, the ANMAT has a good page, and now it is not working so good because only the only the 50% is accomplished with the regulations, and then the ANMAT sometimes don't want that the patient has the patient don't worry when he don't find his medication, because it's the implementation time now. As I told you, I think in 5 years we can have the 100% of the listed medicines. Can you give a number in a percent how much the number of false dispensed medicine has been reduced since then? I don't know it, but we have very much problems here in Argentina, and with this system the drugstores are continually they needed to have the system, and then ANMAT makes inspections, and I don't know how the number reduced, but I think we are only 1 year and a half, and in the long time we saw the best results. I don't have a number exactly. Isn't there a risk of human error on the relabeling process? How can you persuade the person? Yes. Oh, this is a nice question. Yes, it is a risk of a human error, and this is because the pharmacists are strictly near the technicians, and he supervise all this process, because it's true, it can be a problem. But the work of the technician is under the close surveillance of a pharmacist all the day. it's under 4 eyes. How can you persuade the, yes, I tried to persuade the pharmacy industry. When I was in San Francisco, I talked with some representatives, and I think they know that for us it's a big work, and in the future they think to help us in these problems. How do you ensure the right dosage in the instance of a vial with several dosages where only a fraction is to be used with the patient? Yes, we have a system, but this is development from our area of systems here, the hospital, because the ANMAT is not on this implementation. In the oncological area here, in the parenteral area, we have a system that from one ampoule with his individual GTIN serial number, we can reduce doses number 1, number 2, and if you have 10 milliliters, when you reduce all these milliliters, it is finished. It's like when we print the 60 tablets on a 60 tablet packaging. We can't use more than this unit, and we have in the parenteral area a system for milliliters, and we can reduce it so much times. You understand? If you have 10 milliliters, you can't you cannot use 50 milliliters from this same packaging. I don't know if you, please write me if I don't speak so well English. I speak German and Spanish, but I don't know so good the English. As you told, you have had problems with smallest vials because of its curvature. Do you remember which dose size were those vials? Yes, the vials from 1 milliliter, the little vials, morphium, etc. This was the problems. After you relabel, do you enter all the data into the GTIN experience serial number so that it is available at point of dispense? Yes, yes. Also, you read it with a scan, and then the information is online. And the nurse, when she scans it, she has in this data matrix label all this lot number, batch, period, date, etc. And in this data matrix, which we do on the unit dose in the pharmacy, is the same information. Could counterfeit medicine get into the hospital during the relabeling process? No, because no, the relabeling process begins when the medicine is good entered in the reception. The reception scan the medicine, and they this information goes to ANMAT. And if we have an ID from the ANMAT, if something is wrong, the ANMAT give us a pop-up message, and it says, oh, this is not right, the chain is not secure, etc. We haven't this case. But it's possible that you receive a message. We have a message when it was a case from one in the pharmacy industry sent us medication not for our German hospital, for the Italian hospital. And then when we began to read it, the ANMAT makes a pop-up and said, no, it's not for you. You understand it? It's very interesting because we are online all the day. Did the government give you additional funding to set this up? I don't know what is funding. I think you understand. Pay. No. They give us not pay. And this is the problem. We are private hospital and we have an budget and we can pay all this investment. The problem are the public hospitals. There are a lot of they can't accomplish this all the times because they can't buy all the scanners and the software and no, we have no finance assistance. I thank you very much. I'm very sorry that I can't hear you, and I hope you write me some email, and have a good time and have a nice day, and thank you for being there. Okay, bye-bye to all of you.
Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, everyone, for attending this second webinar. Should you have any other questions, as Heidi mentioned, please do not hesitate to send her an email. She speaks fluent Spanish and German and a bit of English, so if you speak either three of the languages, please use one of them. As a reminder, you can just log on to the GS1 Healthcare website for more information on the HPAC webinars. I will be posting the recordings later on today, and I will send you the link by email with the recording so that you can listen to it again. And our apologies again for the slight technical difficulties. We hope everything was clear. And as I mentioned, please do not hesitate to send us any questions you should have. Thank you all, and wishing you all a wonderful day, evening, or night. Goodbye, everyone.